Welcome, everyone. Good to see you. Inside, outside, East Coast, West Coast. So, welcome, welcome. There may be another couple of folks joining us, but we're going to begin. So good to be together. So, this gathering, let's see, I'm going to be needing to interrupt myself to admit folks. Oh, now I know who Emilio is. It's okay. Welcome again. Welcome, welcome. Just take a look around the screen. We're combining a bunch of different groups here. Some of folks are from Embodying Spirit and the Monday night Deep Living group in the Bay Area. Some folks are from the Embodied Jewish Wisdom Teachers Network. And some folks are from Friday Healing Circle, and some from Ruach Haaretz and other places. So as we move into this journey, this exploration, I want to really thank you for joining me, because I'm trying out some new stuff here, learning some new things after all these many years of Omer practice. Let's just take a moment to each of us unmute, share your name, say where you are on the planet, and maybe we won't do a long check-in, but just say if you have a small, medium, or extensive experience with the Omer practice. So I'll just call on people to make it easy. So when I call on you, you can unmute and share those things and let us hear your voice. So Mimi, would you begin?
Hi everyone. My name is Mimi and I am in Marblehead, Massachusetts. So right now actually I think it's day 4. It looks like the sun has set. Um, and I think I have a medium amount of practice. I just got this book a half an hour ago and I think it's going to change my life. The Dance of the Omer, the one that Diane had sent, and I'm actually um, kind of facilitating a group like this, and we met on Monday night, um, and it felt really great. So I'm putting it into practice and sharing it with others.
Great. Thank you, Mimi. I'm going to ask this to be pretty brief, so because our time is
Sorry.
not long. It's okay. I'm loving to hear your voice. But Susan Windle, Susan, would you go next?
Yeah, hi. So I guess I've a medium practice. I've been practicing for, I mean, intense, but lengthwise since 2008 was when I was first introduced to the Omer. Yeah, and I have my apologies in advance. Diana's graciously letting me be here, but I have alternate commitments on many Wednesday nights, so I'll only kind of be dropping in, and I appreciate her graciousness. It's great. It's great to be here.
Thank you. And Susan, you're in Philadelphia.
Yes, I am.
And Susan is actually the author of two collections of Omer letters and poetry. And so thank you. I have let everyone know about those, and you'll give us more information. Yeah, Wendy.
Hi, I'm Wendy. I'm Susan's spouse, and I'm in Philadelphia in the Lenny Lenape land. The lighting of this room because I'm in the standing up room. I'm in the room where I stand. I don't have a chair here, so because I don't have good light for this.
It's just a little hard to hear you when you're, but I think we got the gist. You're standing up, so if we talk too long, feel free to sit on the floor. So, oh, Rivka.
It's great to be here and actually have a window. Normally I'm tutoring at this time of day, so I am thrilled that the universe allowed it. My name's Rivka Coburn. I am part of the ESC. I was part of the ESCB cohort and Friday mornings, and I'm here in Portland, Oregon, on Multnomah and Cowlitz land, and I would say that I guess it's medium. I mean, I've been embodying and doing Omer practice for a long time, but there's always room for growth. So I'm really excited to be here and to be with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rivka. Alisa.
Hi, everybody. I'm in Aromas, California, and this is the Amamutsu land here. This is our friends, the Coast Live Oaks behind me. And I also am tutoring this afternoon, but there's a window cleared. So I've been sitting with Rabbi Diane for many years and doing Omer for many years. And it's just an exploration and new every year. So here I am and ready to receive and explore with you all.
Thank you. Aromas, I can almost smell it. It's beautiful. Gail Gurwitz.
Hi, I'm Gail, live in San Francisco, and I've dabbled in it over some years, but not a whole lot. And then last year I did something with my Rabbi Katie Mizrahi, and interspersed I was then teaching. I would bring those teachings and that exploration into working with. I teach yoga and movement and stuff, so I was sort of learning and teaching, which always helps me to learn more. And so I haven't had a whole lot, but I feel like I've embodied that more, and also sharing it with my synagogue and practices that we do, embodied practices. So I'm really looking forward to delving in more deeply. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, teaching is the way. That's why I do it too, to deepen. And speaking of teaching, Simona.
Hi, Simona from Central Virginia, up against the Blue Ridge Mountains, and it's great to be here. Thank you. I've counted the Omer since I was a child, and it's been a big part of my life, but the embodied part is been ever growing, and I would also say medium to experience, but it's such a wide breadth and depth that you can never, I don't feel like an expert in it by any means. So many layers, and in particular the combinations of them. So I'm happy to be on this journey together.
Thank you, Simona. I'm so glad you're here. Simona has been my co-teacher in many an occasion on both coasts. So, and Michelle, we're just saying our names and where we're from and how much experience you have with the Omer in a word.
Well, I'm definitely Michelle. I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is unannexed Tewa territory. When I went to my ESCB retreat, Rabbi Diane introduced us to counting the Omer before we went to bed, and I did it on my fingers. And I had seen that beautiful template, and then I heard about the intersection of circles, which I'd been teaching, and then I thought, chesed, gevura, and where do they have? It's so wonderful. So I went to see my friend Betty, and I just made myself a string of beads, and a friend showed me yesterday how to count to 18 without doing it with my elbow. So very nice.
Thank you, Michelle. It's exciting you have those beads. Evelyn.
Hi everyone, I'm Evelyn Gould, and I am on the Willamette territory, the Kalapuya, among other tribes, still are here. And I have been counting the Omer for a while, but it was with Rabbi Diane that I learned to use the beads and to embody the counting practice. And now it's the only way I can keep track of where we are. So I'm very grateful for that. And I'm, once again, for me, this is a meeting time, unfortunately. So I'll stay for a little bit and then I got to move on. I'm going to try to empty out this hour on Wednesdays. So it was great to see you all.
Thanks, Evelyn. Glad you're here. Elizabeth.
So I'm in, hello everyone, I'm in Decatur, Georgia, which is Creek Muskogee territory. I have a long practice of doing the Omer, but it's been one that I've done in isolation. And so this year is a new adventure, sharing it with other people in a different way, and also just learning, continually learning more deeply. Last year, I led a small group to explore the qualities of each week, and just excited to be here.
So glad you're here. And China Bear.
Hi, it's so nice to see everybody, new faces and people I don't know. I'm really happy to be here. I'm in Oakland, California on Chechny and Ohlone land. And I'd say I have medium experience. I learned from Rabbi Diane the chanting practices that we've been doing with beads. And I love it because I'm very tactile and a mover. So that's great. And that's it. Happy to see people.
Thanks, China Bear. And welcome, just welcome Sharon and Shalom and Tracy and Gail. And we're just going across. You're on the bottom of my screen, so just share your name, where you are, and just how much experience you have briefly with the Omer practice. So. I don't know if you can unmute, but there you are.
Is it our turn, Reb Diane?
Yeah.
Oh, Tracy, come here. So I'm Shalom, and Tracy and I happen to be in Wahuma territory. Washoe territory. We're actually at Lake Tahoe right now, and it's a beautiful spring day on the shore, and we're amazed to have service. And I've been counting the Omer for maybe the last 18, 20 years with Rabbi Ted Falcon and another practice that I've been doing with chants, and we're looking forward to practicing with Rabbi Dan.
Yeah. I've been practicing the Omer probably about 2 years, and Shalom got me more into it, and I am excited to practice with you. Yeah. Thank you for inviting us.
Oh, great to see you in the high country there with some little snow on the ground still. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sharon, welcome. Oh, 1 minute.
All right. I've had an extraordinarily confusing day, so I'm on a bizarre schedule. So you'll have to excuse me. I'm going to be doing things like eating and stuff while we're doing it. I'm Sharon. I live in Oakland. It's a lonely land, Oakland, California. I don't know how many years I've been doing the Omer, but it's been some time. And I have practiced with Diane, so I know the practice that Diane uses. I'm definitely looking forward to moving into the
Thank you. Glad you're here. Confusion and all. And Gail, other Gail, you're the last one here.
Yes, I am Gail Alexandra. I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. and I came by way of Cantor Elisa's Spiritual Uplift, and this is my first journey into Omer.
Ah, okay. Thank you. Welcome. So, just to say that this is not going to be, I'm not going to be explaining the practice from the very beginning. So, and I hope that, you'll just take, everyone will just take wherever you are, whatever you can for yourself. I'm hoping that you can approach this as something that's really for you, even though for many of us we teach and we want to take it into teaching right away. That wherever you dive into this journey will be the right place for you this year. And I actually would like to start by teaching you at least the beginning of a chant, a nigun, that maybe some of you know. I'm going to put the words up on the screen. This is part of the actual liturgy that's in the Siddur and coming from the Torah for when we do the counting of the Omer, which happens in the evening. And I'll say a little bit more about what that is after we chant. So I'm going to share my screen, if I can here, and just bring up some words. So hopefully you can see the Hebrew and the transliteration. Make it as big as I can here. This is a beautiful melody that I first learned a couple of years ago, and I use it every night when I do the counting. And so I'm going to just sing one phrase at a time and invite you to repeat it in your silent, on Zoom silent way. And that way we can begin to learn it if it's new to you. It was written a couple of years ago and recorded by the Hadar Institute, written by Shir Yaakov Feit and Yosef Goldman and Zach Fredman. So just taking a breath and opening your body. Chanting is an embodied practice, and feel free to stand or sit or move as you hear, as you take in hearing. The words, if you want to look, there they are, but you don't have to. You can simply take it in with your ears. L'shem yichud, and you. L'shem yichud, kudsha brichu shchinte, kudsha brichu shchinte. Let's just try that again. L'shem yichud, l'shem yichud, kudsha brichu shchinte, kudsha brichu shchinte. Next line. Hineni muchan umezuman, hineni muchan umezuman, l'kayem mitzvat aseh, l'kayem mitzvat aseh. We'll do those whole two lines again, the whole thing. And we'll do it as a call and response again. L'shem yichud, l'shem yichud, kudsha brichu shchinte, kudsha brichu shchinte, hineni muchan umezuman, hineni muchan umezuman, l'kayem mitzvat aseh, l'kayem mitzvat aseh. And then this line. Shel sfirat haomer. Try that. Shel sfirat haomer, Shel Sfirat HaOmer, Shel Sfirat HaOmer, and it repeats. Shel Sfirat HaOmer, Shel Sfirat HaOmer, Shel Sfirat HaOmer, Shel Sfirat HaOmer. And we'll do the whole thing once more through. So the first 2 lines repeat twice, the second line 4 times. That's all we're going to learn right now, but we'll be building on this through the next weeks. So here we go. Join me. We won't do it as a call and response this time. We'll just see if we can do it together. L'Shem Yichud Kutsaprichu Ushchinte Hineni Muchan Umezuman Lekayem Mitzvat Taseh. Again, L'Shem Yichud Kutsaprichu Ushchinte Hineni Muchan Umezuman Lekayem Mitzvat Taseh. Shel Sfirat HaOmer, Shel Sfirat HaOmer, Shel Sfirat HaOmer, Shel Sfirat HaOmer. Just that last melody a few more times. Lie, la, lie, 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 lie. Lie, la, lie, 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 lie. Lie, la, lie, 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 lie. Lie, la, lie, lie, I lie. So I think in that melody, you can feel the joy of this practice, the joyfulness of it. I'm just going to say a few words to orient us about the practice and then about how I am hoping to guide us through this next 7-week time. So we know, those of us who have worked with this before and those of us who are just learning, that this is a practice that is commanded originally in the Torah, in the book of Leviticus. And it's a journey that takes us from Passover to the holiday of Shavuot, 7 weeks later. And there are many layers, as some of you said in your introductions to this practice. I should say, I'm Diane, by the way. I'm on Ohlone Chochenyo land, Huichin village in what is now called El Sobrante, California. And I would say I've been doing this practice for probably 20 years, but in the last 7 or 8, in a much more embodied way and much more digging into the creative aspects of what this 7 weeks can bring. And I've done that in different ways, writing and painting and moving. And my hope for this 7 weeks is that we can together go into deeper, more subtle places in our embodied selves, and that each of us will perhaps find new pathways through our bodies, our minds, our spirits, our emotions, and that we'll be able to share some of these with one another as we explore together. So what is that journey taking us from? Well, the Torah mitzvah says to bring a waved offering of barley on the second night of Pesach, of Passover, barley being the winter crop. And we are harvesting it, bringing that first fruits to the temple or the Mishkan. That's the literal mitzvah. waving it. It doesn't say exactly how, but it's a meal offering of barley. And then we're supposed to count every single day from that second night of Passover through 49 days, 7 weeks, 7 times 7, very potent number, until we arrive at the 50th day of Shavuot, and we bring another offering, this time a wheat offering, and instead of course meal, we bring 2 loaves. 2 loaves of bread that are lifted and waved. And during that 7-week period, the wheat crop is finishing its gestation and coming into fruiting. So basically, the original 7 weeks is an agricultural passage from barley to wheat. And it's a theurgic practice, you could say, that is a practice of counting, of keeping our awareness so that that wheat will develop properly, because wheat was the major crop, the human food. Barley was basically used as animal feed. So there's lots to say just about that pshat level of the practice, and we're not going to go into it. I'm just going to name these things. Many of us have studied these, and there are wonderful sources that you can read if you want to know more. But one way of thinking about this movement from barley, the animal feed, the coarse grain, to the 2 loaves of bread is that this is a journey from animalness to humanness. So that's something to literally chew on. It's also a journey from Egypt to Sinai. And this is a later layer of the practice that came with the rabbinic sages. So you could say a journey from enslavement to holy service, a journey from liberation to revelation, a journey from being asleep, kind of sunk in sleepfulness, to a journey of waking up and coming into connection with the divine in a whole different way. It's a journey of moving from being disconnected as a community, isolated, degraded, to becoming or taking the first steps to becoming a community. And finally, not last, but finally in the traditional layers, it's a movement from chesed to malchut. And where does that come from? That comes from our mystical tradition, much, much later than the other traditions, 15th, 16th century. I'm going to share my screen just so that we are again on the same, get to be on the same page here. And we'll just look a little bit here at the Sfirot. So this is the mystical tree of life that we're going to be working with. I know many of us have worked with this for a lot of years. But just to have this image as we're about to move into a deeper and perhaps new to some of us way of working with it. So we have 10 Sfirot, Keter, crown, Chochmah. Now this is set up so that you're actually looking at it. This, where my cursor is the right side, this is the left side, and then we have the central column. So Keter, crown, Chochmah, wisdom, Bina, understanding. Da'at is in dotted circle here because it's kind of a phantom, but for me it's become much more important. Da'at is kind of a lower reflection of Keter, and it means knowledge or consciousness, awareness. And these top Sefirot are called, they're known as mochin, or mind. They are very rarefied. They're very close to the divine. And so in the Omer practice, we don't work with these consciously, but I want to bring them in today, and we are going to move with them because I feel that there's such an important counterbalance to the lower seven sefirot, which is what we do work with week by week. Chesed, expansive loving kindness. Gevura, strength, limitation, boundary, judgment, discernment. Tiferet is the integration of these two, and it is beauty, harmony, compassion, overflowing love. Moving in, as we move down, quote down, all of these are images, we know, and yet they are images that map onto our bodies. As we move down, we get into more density, more materiality, netzach being perseverance, will, the will to keep going, what keeps us going, connected across with hod, which is the splendor of creation and our humility, our surrender in the face of that splendor. And down, integrating not only these two, but the entire tree, siphons down into Yesod, foundation, and down into Malchut, sovereignty, presence, also called Shekhinah, the divine presence, as it gets ready to birth the material world. So this is the Kabbalistic tree of life that is the map for our counting. And here it's mapped onto the body in kind of a crude way, and I'm hoping that we can go beyond this, this map. We will as we go into our bodies. And just to reiterate, each of the 7 weeks is connected with one of these, of the lower 7 sefirot. We are in the week of Chesed, of loving kindness. That's the overarching sefira of the week. And then during the week, each day is connected, Chesed connects with a second quality. These lower ones are called the midot. So the upper ones, amochin, so mind, divine mind, and the lower ones are called midot, or qualities, attributes that we are cultivating through this practice. And so on the first day of the Omer, let's see, we counted on Sunday night. Monday was the first day. So Chesed was connected with itself that day. And then yesterday with Gevura, and today with Tiferet, although some of you are already on the East Coast into the next day. And because I'm still here in California, we're going to be working with Chesed and Tiferet today. So I hope you'll forgive me for not being caught up to you yet. So I'm just going to show another slide here. As we move into the Sefirot, there are many, many different correlations for each of these Sefirot. The ones that we'll be mostly using will be body parts. We'll be looking a bit at the waters of Eden, and we'll be working with the sound, the vowel sound for each week. And we may look a little bit at the 13 attributes of mercy that are each connected with one of the Sefirot. And then, of course, we'll be working with the weeks of the Omer. So that's just a beginning of an overview. We'll be going deeper in. And if this feels fast, you know, it's recorded. You can come back and look at it again, or you can read one of the guides. So one of the new ways of thinking this year that comes from this book, which Mimi received a half hour ago and I received about a week ago. It's just, I mean, it was published on March 23rd. So this is brand new. And this is an amazing book. It may not be for everybody. It's got lots of associations, but it lays them out in a way that's really usable. And so what came to me that was new this year from this book is the waters of Eden, and how the 7 weeks of this cycle take us through the water cycle. The waters issuing from Eden, this comes from the Torah, from the very beginning of the book of Genesis, and then lots of commentary on this in the Zohar, how the waters issued forth and split into 4 rivers, and these become the waters of the world. And this takes us into the whole earthly water cycle of waters in the bodies of water on the earth, then evaporating, becoming clouds, and then becoming rain and storms, and coming back down and nourishing the earth and creating the garden. And we are in the garden. And our bodies are also filled and nourished with water. And that's where I would like to begin our somatic exploration today, with an exploration of, in my somatic training of body mind centering, we talk about the body fluids as one fluid, water, which you could say is the water that issued from the Garden of Eden. And similarly to how it divides in the Torah into 4 rivers, and then rivulets and streamlets and creeks, and then they all flow to the ocean or lakes. In our bodies, the water divides into many different kinds of fluids that have different things in them, different proteins, different substances that then we call by different names. Blood and lymph and cerebrospinal fluid and synovial fluid and interstitial fluid and cellular fluid. And then we have other kinds of more extrinsic fluids like tears and urine and all the ways that water lives in our body. And in body mind centering, we talk about 2 baseline fluids that create the baseline for the tone, and they correspond very much to the 2 divisions of the sphirot. The mochin, the upper sphirot, you could say are more related to the cerebrospinal fluid, which is the most rarefied fluid in the body, and it's the fluid that issues from the ventricles of our brain and then flows around the brain, the nerves, the central nervous system. Our brain and our spinal cord are basically floating in cerebrospinal fluid. And that fluid fills the space between the dura mater, the covering of the brain, and the arachnoid layer, and the pia mater. Those are 3 coverings of the brain and the nervous system that are filled with this fluid that cushions and nourishes our nervous system. Powerful. And the balancing to that is our blood. The blood is the densest fluid in the body. We have different qualities of blood, but we're just going to talk about blood in general today. So blood has the largest molecules, the most kind of matter in it, the red blood cells that carry iron and platelets and large molecules, large cells. And the blood, cerebrospinal fluid is kind of clear or maybe a bit golden, like the mochin, like those sphirot, and blood is red, more or less red. In veins it's less red, but the arterial blood is red, and it has a density to it. So we're going to start our movement exploration with 2 dances. The first will be the dance of the cerebrospinal fluid. I'm going to invite you to imagine that you could connect with perhaps your keter, which I consider to be our point of essence, where our soul, kind of the portal where our soul flows down from the Ein Sof, from the great sea of beingness, and takes on its particular shape, the particular to our lifetime. So there'll be 1 piece of music, then there'll be some breaths of transition, and I'll give us a second piece of music to explore the qualities of bloodfulness. Blood that is fills the body, of course, the head as well, but we're going to focus more on the lower 7 sphirot. So I will share my sound, and this will be about a 10-minute exploration, maybe a little bit less. If you want to listen, meditate, move, however this works for you. So we begin with cerebrospinal fluid exploration. It's that image of the brain floating. Cerebrospinal fluid works its way out along the nerves into all the tissues of the body, and eventually is drawn through the blood back into the blood and up into the brain, where it's produced in the spaces within the brain, the ventricles of your brain. So perhaps as you begin to find this quality of rarefication, it's a vibration that's so fast it feels slow, the fluid of meditation. Perhaps you can notice how this moves through your whole body. Find a pausing place in your process. And if this is an exploration that intrigues you, it's something that you can spend more time with, finding the music that helps you. Often bells and vibratory gongs help to awaken the cerebrospinal fluid and these upper spherote. So we're going to transition now into the blood flow quality. So just taking a moment to breathe and to feel the more solid, dense aspects of your physicality that are nourished by blood, the muscles, moving bones, that sense of vitality, aliveness, the rhythmic quality of the pulsing of the blood. Maybe you can find your own pulse somewhere in your body, the finger at your throat or your wrist, and begin to bring up that quality of bloodfulness and engagement that is we're going to be refining in these lower 7 spherote. And here's some more music to play with. So wherever you are in your moving process, and you can continue to move or you can come to a pausing place, and just for a moment, see if you can bring the sense of these two fluid systems, these two kinds of fluid in you. Both are water. Both are mostly water. And yet they're water with different qualities, different characters, different midot, if you will. Both necessary for life, each one bringing a different state of being, a different possibility for being present, different kind of presence. So because this is our first time together and there's kind of a lot to share, I'm going to flow on and hope that we have at least a few minutes to speak with one another before we end. But I want to make sure today that I teach you the rudiments of the chanting practice that I've been doing for the last number of years. And so we're moving from these two categories, two different groupings of the Sephirot to specific Sphirot. What is a Sephirah? I'll read you a little poem at the end, maybe. I was thinking about this yesterday. But here's something from Benji Elson's book, a quote. So the Sephirot are the medium through which divine energy flows into the world. They are the prism through which humanity can understand and relate to and partner with, and I would say feel within ourselves, God. The Sphirot are thus deep structures for transformation, each one carrying a different quality, a different flavor of emanation. And this period of counting the Omer and bringing consciousness to our own body, emotion, mind, spirit process through the medium of the Sphirot is a yearly opportunity to open and attune these channels. And that's very much how I'm thinking about it somatically, channels, openings, vessels in the body. And so that by the end of the 7 weeks, we merit to make this offering of refined flour in bread form and to eat it. That is to eat the Torah, the new Torah, the bread, the lechem, that will come through each of us uniquely at the time of Shavuot, aligned with the birthing energies of this spring season. As we work with the system of the Sphirot to guide our inner work and transformation during this time period, we are literally and figuratively becoming more human. Or we could say perhaps that we are actualizing more and more of our human potential for activating the divine through our embodied selves to co-create a rectified reality on Earth. So because we're in different time zones, and it's not time for me to count, and the Omer practice is very precise that you do the counting after sunset. So you all on the East Coast are ready to count tomorrow, but we're not. So rather than counting, we're just going to do the chanting practice. And I do the chanting in the morning. I do the counting at night. That's when the Hebrew day begins. And then in the morning, when I sit on my meditation cushion, maybe I'll put on my tallis, maybe tefillin, and I will take these beads, which you don't need to do this practice, but if you have them, that's great. And I'm going to show you how to do it without them. And chant the 2 qualities for the day. And I'm refining that practice a bit by adding to it, beginning with the vowel sound for the week of Chesed. So the vowel sound for the week of Chesed is the Sigol, which is 3 dots in a triangle pointing down. And the sound of it is eh. It's that eh sound, that eh, that wide open. And, you know, Chesed, the word Chesed has 2 Sigol-im in it. It has 2 of those eh sounds. Chesed. So just to say it a few times, we can't hear you. So you can say it and feel what that's like to make the eh or the chesed sound with your mouth, how that shapes your body and your breath to make that chesed sound. And what we're going to be chanting when we chant the 2 qualities is Tiferet Shebechesed. So that's the 3rd day of the Omer, which is what we're still in out here in California. Tiferet Shebechesed. In the body, traditionally, Tiferet is associated with the heart and Chesed with the right arm and hand, which actually embryologically is an extension of our hearts. That's how our arms develop in utero. Blood vessels grow out from the heart and they create the pathway for the bones, the nerves, and eventually the muscles to create that arm. So that's the traditional pathway, is from heart to hand, right through the channel, the tzinor, of from your chest to your fingertips, if you could think of that as an open channel. So that's one way of thinking about it. I'm going to invite us to add to this specific body part way to think about movement qualities. And I've come up with some, but you may come up with different ones. So we'll practice certain things together with my suggestions, but if you try this kind of practice on your own, you may find something else. And I'm going to suggest that one quality that we might associate with Chesed is flow, or expansion, expansive flow. And a quality that we might associate with Tiferet is balance, or I have been thinking of it also as weaving, because that heart center weaves together the energies of the 2 arms, but of all the limbs really, woven through, and it weaves the energy, the thought process of the brain and the gut together as well. This Tiferet center, the physical heart, has the most expansive electromagnetic field of any organ in the body. So When we get to the movement part of this, I'm going to invite us to play. There'll be some music after we chant. There'll be some silence. Then I'll put on some music and you'll be invited to either continue in meditation or to move into some exploration in the body if you wish, or you could write or draw. If you don't want to hear the music, feel free to turn down your volume. That's the great thing about Zoom. If it's not the right music for you, or if it's not the right moment for the music, you can turn it down. You can shut off your screen as well if you would rather not be seen and not see others. So I'm going to guide us through this chanting practice. We're going to, it takes a while to explain it. It will get easier as the weeks go on. Just as we wave the lulav on Sukkot, we're going to, this is an ancient practice, I don't know exactly where it originated. We're going to chant the two qualities, Tiferet Shebechesed, 18 times in each of the 6 directions. So, and I move my body as I chant, forward, backward. So normally this would be done facing east. So it would be east, west, then to the right would be south, to the left, north, then up, and then down. I'm going to guide us through this so you don't have to worry. And then that's 108 repetitions, 6 times 18. 18 the number of life, 6 all the cardinal spatial dimensions, directions. The last direction is center, along the center line of the body, coming inside ourselves. On my beads, I have 18 movable beads and 4 stationary beads, and those 4 beads are the last 4. And they are for the Yud He Vav He, and I just move them along the central column of my body from the base of the pelvis as I do those last 4 repetitions. So you'll catch on because we'll do it together. We'll do some breathing in between. So we're going to chant several times the S sound. I'll guide us, making the shape of the triangle with my chin as I say it, and we'll refine it as the weeks go on. Then we'll chant 112 times Tiferet Shebechesed. Then we'll breathe and we'll have a little bit of moving time to process in movement or in some other way with music, if you wish. And then we'll come back together. If you don't have the beads, the way you can keep count, I'll be doing it for us today, is on your fingers. So each 4 of your 4 fingers has a tip and 3 joints. So each finger counts for 4. And as I chant, I touch. Tiferet Shebechesed, 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 and so on, up to 16. And then I have 2 more that I want to chant, and I do the tip and the first joint of my thumb. And that gives me 18. So you'll see how it goes. There's a little bit of a drone with the chanting, and each time I change directions, I'm going to pause, take a resting breath in between, and I'm going to raise the pitch of the drone so that the energy builds. So finding a comfortable place to be so that you can easily move if you want to do the movement with me, that you'll be able to tilt and lean in the different directions. So we become the wave offering when we're doing this practice. We become that wave offering. We embody it. And we're going to start with just a couple of resting breaths. So my chanting and breathing might be a different rhythm from yours, and if it's not comfortable for you to do it at my rhythm, that's fine. When you practice on your own, it'll be easier. So just finding your breath. We have awakened our blood and our cerebrospinal fluid, our CSF. We have that vertical quality of the CSF along our central column, and we have that very 3-dimensional, rounded, full quality that blood gives us as we breathe. And we feel our heart between our lungs. And I'm just going to make the S sound as I draw a triangle of the skull with my chin. Breathing in, turning my head to one side. And then returning to center. Breathing in. I'm going the other way. Returning to center and breathing in. Turning to the side. Returning to center and the emptiness, breathing in. Turning to the side. Returning to the center, breathing in. One more time. To the side, creating that triangle. Returning to center and breathing a couple of resting breaths. So we begin to chant Tiferet Sheba Chesed, either with your fingers, your beads, or just following along with me, going to the front first. Tiferet Sheba Chesed, 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 Tiferet Sheba Chesed. A breath. And to the back. Tiferet Sheba Chesed, 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 Tiferet Sheba Chesed. Resting breath. To the right. Tiferet Sheba Chesed, 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 Tiferet Sheba Chesed. Resting breath. To the left. Tiferet Shebechesed, 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 Tiferet Shebechesed. Breathe. To the heavens. Tiferet Shebechesed, 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 Tiferet Shebechesed. Breath. To the earth. Tiferet Shebechesed, 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 Tiferet Shebechesed. Breath. So 4 more times for the Yud Hey Vav Hey, and you can just bring that energy, touching yourself or with your beads if you have them, right up along the center line. Energy, whatever energy centers want to be touched. 4 more times. Tiferet Shebechesed, Tiferet Shebechesed, Tiferet Shebechesed, Tiferet Shebechesed. And we'll take 2 full breath cycles. We're going to run over just about 5 minutes today, so if you can stay this extra time, that would be great. If you have to go, I understand. But I'm going to put on a piece of music for the next couple of minutes. And if you wish to explore the dynamic tension and integration of flow and balance, that would be great. And if something else is coming, follow your own body, mind, and spirit. And I'll just share this music.
Hallelujah.
Ah, so at least we began the journey together, or continued it for some of us who've been counting. And we've run over time, but I don't know if people are up for just a couple more minutes. If anyone has a brief something you want to to share with the group. Hopefully we'll have more time for sharing as the weeks go on. Sharon.
Associated with the confusion I talked about earlier, I've fairly recently discovered something in myself that seems to want to hold on tight and do me harm. And this practice really loosened the grip some today. So I really am so glad that I managed to make it.
Me too. I'm so glad. Yeah, loosened my grip too. Thank you. And China Bear.
Well, I've been really bummed out because of this. I broke my hand yesterday. And it doesn't hurt too much, but I feel pretty restricted. I am restricted, so I don't just feel it. So I've been in this sort of bad mood, but I don't feel it anymore. I feel like, it's okay. It's, I can dance, I can move. And so I really do feel loosened up. So I'm grateful for that. And yeah, I just wanted to say that.
I'm sorry about your hand, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that it loosened up.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, there's so much more space around things.
Yeah.
In this spherotic realm.
Yes. Thanks.
Yeah. So, I think maybe we'll close. Some folks have already had to go, and I'll close with a poem. And over the weeks, I hope to just share with you a little bit more liturgy. We'll learn more, the full Sphirot blessing at the beginning, and I have some other liturgy that could enhance your own practice. And for today, I will just read this poem to close with that came through yesterday. In the Gevurah Day, what are the Sefirot? And I encourage you to, many of us already have done writing, but to do your own writing or drawing or whatever. This is a very creative time. It's springtime. Things are burgeoning. What are the Sefirot? They are our spiritual anatomy, the deep energetic structure of the cosmos, perceived by the mystics of old, set spinning by the mystics of new, reflected in the nikavim, chalulim of these very bodies. They are divine mind pressed into materiality, each one of us a mini Mitzrayim and also a mini Midbar. They are love made manifest. They are how we may choose to live, in alignment with the all or not. They are a flotilla of buoys bobbing in the waters above, as on the waters below, and vice versa. 10 Sphirot of nothingness, the no thing that is everything, the empty, filling, emptying that is each breath, that is this life. So happy counting. I look forward to seeing you next time. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me. And it's so great to spend this time with you. So we can unmute and say goodbye.
Yashikoa, Rabbi Dan, thank you.
Thank you.
See you dancing on the beach.
Wonderful to see everyone.
Great to see everybody. Thank you, everybody.
Hi, lovely, lovely. I'll catch the recordings for the ones I missed.
I love the poem.
Oh, so
Love.
beautiful.